Hey, this is Jacob, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to remember words in your target language. When it comes to speaking a language, obviously, one of the most important things you need to know is words. And generally speaking, the more words that you know within your target language, the higher your proficiency is going to be within that language. So now the question becomes, how do you go about learning words? And not only learning these words, but actually remembering them as well. Because if you were to learn, like, say, 10 or 20 or 30 words, and then you can't remember those words when you need them, then just merely learning the word is not going to be enough. So, the next step is not only just learning the word, but making sure that the word sticks in your long term memory. That way, you can use it when you need to. So this video is actually based off something I learned while reading the book Fluent Forever. So if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. I'm currently reading it right now, and I'm not finished with the book just yet. But I do think that at some point, when I do finish reading that book, I may end up making a review about it and putting it on the channel. So definitely stay tuned for that. But with that being said, yeah, I just wanted to dive into this concept about how to remember words as I learned in the book, because I think this could be very powerful. And this is something I definitely plan to start using as well to help me remember more words in the languages that I'm studying, which are Spanish, French, and Esperanto. So, with that said, let's hop into the content. So, the first thing that you want to do when it comes to remembering words in your language is that you want to learn the sound system. So, ultimately, all languages are made up of sounds. Like, other than like sign languages, like like American Sign Language and stuff. Other than languages like that, of course, all languages are made up of sounds. So, by learning the sounds, you're able to do several things to help you with remembering words. First off, it helps connect the structure to your ears and your mouth. So as you listen, as you listen to the sounds, as you listen to the words people speak in the language, yeah, it's able to prime your ears, and it's able to put you in a state where you're able to develop your listening comprehension skills. And also, listening also primes your voice as well, because if you can hear how somebody pronounces a particular word, you can go and replicate that. Another thing is that or learning the sound system helps to create strong association with the written and the spoken form of the words. So when it comes to like learning a word, you may notice that words often may be pronounced a little bit differently than how they may look like on paper. But when you're able to see a word and you're able to hear how that word is pronounced, now you're learning that word on sort of like two different levels, like utilizing two different channels. So this really helps to strengthen the memory and the association of that word inside your head. And also learning the sound system helps with enhancing your auditory memory. So basically, the more often that you not only read a word, but you hear that word in your target language, the stronger it develops the memory for that word. Now, next, once you learn the sound system, the next thing you want to do is that you want to bind the words to an image. Now, by binding the word to an image, it helps to create a very strong visual association. So, the issue is when a lot of people, when they try to learn words in the target language, they'll just like read a word, they'll read the definition, and that's about as far as it goes. And as a result, when you need to remember that word, maybe like a day later, a week later, or whatever, you have a hard time remembering it. But if you can take that word and you can associate it with like a strong image, it becomes a lot more colorful and a lot more memorable inside of your head. And images also tend to engage multiple senses as well. Like as three-dimensional beings, we're able to see like lengths, width, and height. So by being able to see images with words, this just creates like having all your senses, like having multiple senses like activated at once, just helps to make the word stick more in your head. And lastly, images act as sort of a mnemonic cue when it comes to recalling a word. So you might know like some mnemonic cues where you might like come up with like a phrase or something to remember a word. But if you can have a very strong image like inside your head associated with the word, as soon as you think of that image, you'll be able to recall the word that much faster. So that makes it a really powerful technique to use, which you stack on top of like learning the sound system. And last but not least, is that you want to take that images that you associated with the word and you want to combine it with a past experience. Now, this is where we take things really, really deep when it comes to remembering words. Because obviously there's nobody in the world that has the same experiences that you have. And even people have same experiences as you, they're not going to process those experiences the same way that you're going to process them. So when you're able to take a word and you're able to combine it with one of your past experiences, like the word becomes practically unforgettable. So to give you an example, like let's say you're trying to remember the word cookie in English, and when you use that word, like maybe you may have an image in your mind of a cookie, but you can also think back maybe to your childhood, like maybe your grandmother, she would go and she would bake cookies, and then you can remember like how they smelled and how they tasted when you ate them, and the time that you spent with your grandmother. Now, once you create that connection between the word and the memory of you like having cookies when you're a child, now like that word, you're gonna remember that word like for the rest of your life, most likely. Another thing too about combining images with past experiences is that they often carry a lot of emotional significance. So going back to the cookie example, like maybe you have a really great relationship with your grandmother. So like having that emotional weight on top of the experience just helps to make it a lot more memorable and something that you'll be able to recall when you need. And last but not least, combining images with past experiences help to create a very context-rich environment in your mind. So, by having a rich context in your mind, like being able to hear the sounds, being able to have like the images associated with the sounds, and then having the memory that you're able to associate with the image, this creates a sort of environment in your head where just remembering that word becomes like the most natural thing for you in the world. So, in order to put all of this to work, basically each one of these things stack on top of one another. So, the first thing that you want to do is you want to start with learning the sound system first. Then, from the sound system, you want to combine those words with images, and then lastly, you want to take those images and you want to combine it with your past experiences. So, if you stack all of these things together, like remembering words is going to become a lot easier for you. Now, if you get value from this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also, tap the bell icon. That way, you'll be notified of any new content that comes your way. I do produce videos every single week, so yeah, definitely stay tuned. And if you also have any like ideas or tips or tricks for remembering words in your target language, definitely feel free to share them down below because I love to learn new things, and we can all like help each other when it comes to like learning our target languages. So this is Jacob Laguerre. I'm signing off, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.